I don't want to go again into the detail of why the theme, because I know I have a keynote speaker who will be speaking to that. I'm only buying time to make sure that I have the attention of everybody and at this moment Singa. Akonako kayisizaawo ng'omulangira. At this moment, we really want to catch up with the time because we have lost some time. It was not our own making. Actually, if it were ready from yesterday for you. But we know cooperators, so kamkugenda kugaba loani, nebirala, and we really appreciate that. We don't even want to push you any much as much as possible. At this moment, we want to know who is in this room. Michael MC. Very fast. 50% of why we are getting together is to know each other. So please be free to tell us your name and probably the institution you come from. That will be good enough for us so that people know who is seated where. And after that, we shall display the program and go into other details.
My name is Thomas Kagera. I'm a media consultant. Thank you.
Thank you so much. My name is Arthur Nduhura, and I work with Wakandi Uganda Limited.
My name is Lynette Tumhere. I work with Wakandi Uganda Limited.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Fiona Kemegisha, and I work with Wakandi.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Andagire Teddy from Centenary Bank. I support SACCOs.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Rogers Walgembe from Bunamwaya Parish SACCO.
Good morning. I'm Sawanonda Emi Joshua from Luwaga Community Development Mission SACCO.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Solome Nachimera from Centenary Bank, Kawempe branch.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Doreen Mutes from Centenary Bank, Makerere branch.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Atgonza Mary, Makerere branch, Centenary Bank.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Mercy Kainza, Centenary Bank, Makerere branch.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Jonathan Insamba from Atlas Agro-Processing.
Good morning, everyone. My name's Yvonne Namagembe from Race TV.
Good morning, members. My name is Dr. Kimba Henry. I work with the Uganda Episcopal Conference under the ESA department, that is Uganda Catholic Medical Bureau. I'm a member of Chitevi SACCO. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Josephine Chiimba from Chitevi Star SACCO.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Kellyanne Sevia Tukunda. I work with Centenary Bank, Nansana branch.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Nabakoda Catherine. I work with Centenary Bank, Nansana branch.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Salon Chene Manu Lukwago, a member of Toweka SACCO and Katikos Luwaga. I'm an exhibitor here promoting the use of economic and environmental friendly soda stoves. We have a stall over there next to Wakanda.
Good morning, everyone. Ray Kenneth Ben is my name. I'm from Together We Can, Mutundwe SACCO, abbreviated as Toweka.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Geoffrey Kazinda from Mutundwe. Together We Can SACCO, Toweka.
Good morning, everyone. My name is
Couch Eric. I work in sawdust stove.
Good morning, fellow cooperators. My name is Herman Musi Tenywa from Kadikos, Lubaga.
Morning, everybody. My name is Dennis Chikomeko. I work with Kide Geno Works.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Juko Robert from Kalangala, Chizira Oil Palm Growers Sacco.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. My name is Nakalanda Maria. I work with Mamide Court.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Busulu Asman Sabaliba. I work with the CBS Peosa Trade Fair.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Nabulime Goretti from Esubio Zambogo Sacco.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Iga Alan James. I'm the coordinator for Caritas Kampala Cooperatives in the Archdiocese of Kampala. I'm happy to be with you here.
Good morning. My name is Margaret Nachimuli from Springtech Limited.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Naluvega Anastasia from Springtech Limited, Container Village Branch.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Fuachan Gladys from Springtech Limited.
Good morning, members. I'm Goam Zaham, Sales Engineer, Springtech Limited.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Naiga Helen, Manager Abataka Mtindo Sacco.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Lieutenant Giovanni Muganzi from Wazalendo Sacco, Head Office, Kiwatu.
Good morning, everyone. I'm glad to be here. My name is Nachija Nuliat. I work at Chuatule, our head office.
Good morning, all. I'm called Mr. William Atalieva. I work at Wazalendo Sacco.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. I'm called Tugumena Wahabat, Chairperson, Kasubi Community Development Sacco from that part of Rubaga. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Irene Naturinda. I work as Treasurer, Kasubi Community Development Sacco, Rubaga Division.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Anantome Shakira. I work with printing and stationery. Kasubi Branch, Sacco.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Navaemba Amina. I came from Kasubi Community Development Sacco. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I'm called Father Emmanuel. I work with Kasubi Community Development Sacco. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Namakula Scovi. I come from Kasubi Sacco Community.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Angela Namtebi Mabirizi, and I come from Centenary Bank, Nansana Branch.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Busuru Hassan, Centenary Bank, Nansana.
Thank you. My name is Kayaga Benta Muksa, Centenary Bank, Kawempe Branch.
My name is Edwin Sechirai from Centenary Bank, Kawempe Vice Branch. Good morning.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Victoria Nazwa. I work with Kawempe Vice Branch Centenary.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Edith Flower Namleme. I work with BBS Telefina.
Morning, everyone. My name is Alan Masiga, worker with NIRA. Lucky enough, I also have a circle in Bugiri district called Chitegalwa Rice Farmers Circle.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Shabi Innocent, marketing and promotions. Thank you.
Mbalamusiza abanyewo ne bassebo. Amannya gange nze Asimwe Allen. Nkola ne NIRA mu Nakawa division. Nintinda kalina abiri.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Nachintu Jane, working with NIRA Nakawa.
Great morning to you all. I'm Nisima Edith. I work with NIRA Nakawa division.
Good morning. I'm John Paul from Electoral Commission Circle.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Mirembe Deborah from DTB Head Office. I'm seeing so many circles here. We have a group circle account for everyone for free. You're all welcome.
Katukome kulinnya ebiddako bina time yabyo.
Good morning, everyone. My name is B Kampala Road Branch.
Good morning. My name is Gerald Watango from Arua Branch, DTB.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Jocelyn Naturana. I work with CBS Pewas and Sindikanja K. Terekera Sako.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Nasimba Betty. I'm working with CBS Pewas and Sindikanja K. Terekera Sako, Mengo.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Chumeka Ivan. I work with CBS Pewosa, Yeterekera Butirokucha. Sako.
Waliwo ateyanjudde enetebo? Hey, sorry.
Mwabadde mutubuuse. Good morning, everyone. This is a team from Sabex International. Today we have a promotion. Let the team traveled it introduce themselves.
Morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Owemba Janet, marketing rep.
Rauda Rashida Nakaoya from Starbucks.
A very good morning, everyone. I'm Angel Niwabine, a market rep representative Starbucks.
Good morning to you all. Nasuna Tracy is my name, marketing representative.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Asimwe Reni. I work with Starbucks International.
Tweyanzeege ndowooza kulusuna gw'obulayo gwe batamanyi muholo eno.
All right. Thank you so much. Can we clap for everybody that has introduced themselves? How many of you know my name? By show of hands. How many of you know the person standing in front of you? Only 2 people, 3 people. Okay. How many of you know my co-MC's name? By show of hands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. How many of you know her name? Olabye, you can sit. The purpose of why we are here, 50% is for us to know each other. We are going to have a lot of time for us to interact. Making sure nti woviira wano abastabeks obategedde kuba abasinga tufumba ewaffe nti otegedde aba Centenary Bank ne products zaabwe badokita bagenda okwogera wano ng'ofunye n'akanamba kaabwe. Is it okay? Let's agree. Okay. My name is bw'oyogera omulangira Kimmala Mulumba Matiya omujulizi Suuna. How many of you know my name? By show of hands. Mwetuli wano. I'm just trying to pull your attention. I'm called Mulumba Matthias Suuna. How many of you know my name? By show of hands. I want you to know about wellness. Batugamba fa bakola n'abasawo nti buli kaseera buli omuvinga omubiri gw'omusaayi guba gukola ki gutambula. And we shall have several of these exercises for us to really keep alive. So please, let's continue knowing each other. You see the purpose of why we are having this convention, and it's very important for us to... I do a lot of things. I'm in 2 different colors, but just call me a development facilitator or expert. Mbikuguseemu ebbanga lingi lya corporations mpaka ku degree esembayo ssebo dokita naye yala kufuuka nga ggwe. Munkubireko omubukalo. Tegala mumuvingeko. Mbikuguseemu kyekyo lwaki twatula n'abantu abalala nsaba bayimirireko ba conveners. If you're part of the organizing team, this is your moment to stand up and wave to the people as we welcome them. Please stand up and wave if you're part of the organizing team. This team, abamu bamanyi, abamu timubamanyi, we sat together as people who have been Doctor, mubadde naffe nga tuteesa bano twatuula wansi ne tugamba naye tuludde mu kintu kino kye bayita cooperatives. Ndi wali nno mbabuulira lwaki tuli wano. Naye twemanyi kyekisooka. Ng'ab'e Masaka bali bokka, ab'e Bugisu bali bokka, ab'eggulu bali bokka, abawazalendo bakola byabwe, saba mutuuleko. Therefore, we thought it was important for us to convene and have annual discussions like this one. When we convene, of course, one of the things is to know each other. Secondly, is for us to share our experiences. And that's one of the most important things. Nti nze bwe mbeera ewaffe Lubaga mu community circle, ekizibu kye nnina situlina amanyina bya computer ebimwozi ebya computer owa Centenary ng'ajja n'alina digital naye ng'akuleetera solution. Some of these you start from best practices bwetugamba. You don't go ahead to struggle too much. Okunoonya okuyamba cooperators okuba nti balina obudde nga bafumba mbudde ng'ate tulina Professor Mulamba akola stove eri wali yabyewuunyo. So these are some of the reasons why we are here. Lastly, we know we have policies. We have policies. We have tax regimes in Uganda. Byebimu ku bakulu bye bagenda okwogerako. I don't want to preempt some of these issues. I don't really want to preempt some of these issues. Kyova olabanga ngambye ne bw'oba nga bazze bakuweereza kuva mu bank, you're not even part of a circle. By the time you leave, ojja kuba nga otegedde lwaki weetaaga okubeera mu cooperative. But you also have learnt. Ekirungi nti abasinga mwogedde Oluzungu. Ngattamu Oluganda, abadde omu yekka ayogedde Oluganda naye manyi naye Oluzungu alumanyi. You have learnt something, especially within this keynote address. We got the cream of the country in cooperation, in development. They're going to speak to us. Okay, let me run you through briefly, and then we shall invite the keynote address because we have lost some time. Our screen is not very clear because we thought it would be darker than now, but up. We think this morning the opening session is what we are really moving ahead with. We shall be able to do what we have done. I don't want to repeat that, but the most important within the opening session is the keynote address. Keynote address, abasinga abadde mu sessions nga zino oba conventions, ye muntu gwe tuyita ng'agenda kusamarizinga kumpi ebintu byonna ebikwatagana ne theme. Aba muntu wa experience y'amaanyi era ngenda mwanjula mu maaso awo. So nsaba bw'oba olina akapapula awo kwata peeni ebeere kumpi kuba agenda kwogera ku speedi obudde bwe twabuyingiddemu dda. But you'll be able to read it, put us into position to understand why it is very important for us as cooperators to get together. I don't want to preempt what he's going to be saying. Go ahead. Bintu by'omukulu ono tebitambula ebimu naye bijja kutambula mpola mpola. Nja mwanjula omukulu oyo. After that, of course, we had our tea. We thought we could have our tea in between, but we thought we could have our tea. We should have a panel discussion. Panel discussion yeyo era nayo nja janjula, but as far as we are concerned, we shall have some of the key institutions. We shall have some of the institutions that are very central for our cooperation in Uganda, and they will be discussing a topic that we shall be again thinking about deeply together, but also understanding what we need to do with harnessing digital transformation. Because abakulu nga bwe mbagambye batunuddemu ne bakizuula nti most of us are struggling to transit from traditional to digital. Not so? So that panel discussion, don't miss it. Don't miss it. Nkakasa abamu mulina a lot of errands in town, but don't miss some of these very important discussions. So we should again be introducing that panel just before lunch. After lunch, of course, bwana bamaliriza tujja kubanga tubuuza ebibuuzo, but also sharing experiences if we have time. Naddala mu abagezezzaako okuba ne digital transformation. So keep some of these sharings. If you have any questions and you think you can contribute to the discussions. We think this will take us up to lunchtime, and then after lunch, we shall again have another topic or discussion by one of, again, our elders in cooperatives and circles. And that will be about the significance of governance. You know, we all know we are struggling to make sure that we have standing cooperatives and circles. Some of you are young, some of you have grown, some of you have got challenges in governance and management. So we thought it was important for us to also share from one of the most standing circles and cooperatives in Uganda. Omukulu mujja mulaba saagalira ku preemptinga bagamba osuna okola ki? Basumulula osuna. Bwe tunaaba tusumuludde mujja kuba mulaba abakulu be twabategekedde. So we are going to learn about how to manage our circles, our cooperatives, our businesses. And they will be sharing with us practical experiences. But like I said, every end of presentation, each of us will be given opportunity to also share with the others. We hope to have a lot of interaction through the day, a lot of engagement with all of us. And therefore, even in the evening, as we have these breaks, we shall be moving around the different exhibitors. They are part of the presentations. This is why I called them here. They are part of the presentations. And we shall make sure we give them time for you to go and interact with them. We didn't have enough time. This convention should have been 5 days if we had hold it as required. But during the breaks, please find time to visit each of them. They have introduced themselves. Muzo okubanga ne ID yo togitereza nga banira we bali twabalese mbakubireko mu ngalo bazze. Olina ekizibu ku ID nze yange bagimpadde empya nenyirira okufaako obufi. Twabalese n'abalala. Banks are here. The people with solutions for cooperators are all here. I don't want to mention them at this moment. So we shall have time, even after the sessions in the evening. They will still be here probably until 7 for us to have a lot of interaction. When we come tomorrow, again, one of the most important things tomorrow is, again, we shall have a panel with some of, again, the most strong institutions that accepted to be part of the panel to tell us about how global cooperatives use digital platforms. Because digital is one of the most important things that we thought is very, very important. But as they talk about digital in everything, about governance and management. So how do the board members use digital technology? How do the managers use digital technology? How do we manage our finances? So they will be talking about the whole life of an institution, but in the digital era. We shall have one person who will present to us from one of the most prominent and old universities of Uganda, but he's also a cooperator and a cooperative teacher. Then we shall go into a panel, again tomorrow, don't miss it. And here we shall be talking about financing. Aba bank, we muri? Aba bank, we muri monike ku mikono aba bank abaliwo. Aba sentinel beera bidde. Aha, we bali wamma. Okay, so we have your panel tomorrow. It not only be you on the panel, but also other cooperators with whom we shall be discussing, but also other cooperatives that have, because we are all in cooperatives using finances and we manage finances. We have, of course, a panel with questions that we shall be presenting tomorrow. And then in the afternoon tomorrow, we shall make sure that we summarize the convention with institutional discussions and sharing. Because we know each of us come from different institutions and we may have best practices, challenges, and recommendations to others. So we think by that time we shall have got enough foundation for us to start discussing from each of the institutions. So each of the circles here, please be ready to have a small presentations in front here. And tell us what you do and how you do it and how you recommend others. That's probably what you need to learn because we want to prepare. Next year, this hall will be full. We are preparing over 600 or 800 people to a minimum. But our target was 2,000. But to the minimum, about 600. We just wanted to call a few of you for this convention so that we pick some of these lessons from you and also prepare for next year. Si bwe kiri mugana wange Kalangala. Bonna njagala obamaleyo. Abeeri abebuvuma abawa abebubeke. I know I worked in Kalangala for some time with Action Aid. So there are many circles there. Each one of us will be mobilized after this convention so that next year we have full house here. 2,000 people is our target. Okay. Then we shall have the closing ceremony as usual. Closing ceremony. And the closing ceremony, I think we shall have very strong statements and also preparations of what we can do between now and next year. Because that's one of the most important things why we are here. But what we cooperators, chiche tuyinza okukola between now and next year. Era tulinde convention. Bwe kiri bannaye. Tuyinza okugamba tutegeeko ka trip. Exchange visit. Mwe mugendo bitugamba nze sibyogedde. Tugendeko e Bugisu Cooperative Union. Tebasobodde kujja. Kubanga chairperson waabwe mumanyi presidential candidate. Mukitegedde. But we were there, I was there physically. Era some of these unions have been there. They have gone through a lot of challenges, but they are still standing. We could go and visit them. We could prepare some of these trips. We could prepare some other online discussions, maybe monthly. So that we keep a family moving. We have the professors here. They can always give us some talks. And that will be part of the closing ceremony for us to agree on at least 5 things we can do between now and next convention together as a family. Okay, at this moment, allow me stop at that for the program. And I just want to give only 3 minutes as a facilitator to hear from you. Co-facilitator? Omukulu Sebo, co-facilitator. Sabo kwate mic. Do you think we have expectations? If you think we have not managed them, please tell us. Raise up your hand. If you confirm, also raise up your hand so that we proceed. Expectations of February so what does tonotono bye tusuubira bye tuyinza okuyitamu oyinza okugamba nedda tugende tulukolere wabweru wano wabuguma nnyo. So let me listen from you in 2 minutes and then we proceed for me to introduce the keynote speaker.
Well, so far going on well, but I have a request, maybe for our next convention. I expect the Microfinance Regulatory Authority and Registrar of Cooperative, as so we can. There are so many questions they have to answer to. We have to inquire, because to me they are focusing on compliance, but now when it comes to policy formulation with our circle, especially to us as managers, these boards they give us to work with are not trained, and they are the ones to make policies. So if we have them on board, there are some questions we can't ask you. So I beg that next time we present them.
Yeah, we have our secretaries, they are taking note. The fact is we had prepared everything, but I know the keynote speaker is going to mention something about that.
Meanwhile,
Yes.
you can still raise it because the union for circles is in the house. Advocacy. So feel free to raise it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any other expectation that we may have and we need to meet? You know, the traditional way, write your expectations, then write them on a flip chart. Any other expectation you may have that we need to meet or we are not meeting? You can raise up your hand, then I can. So that also the presenters, by the way, are here. They are listening to us, but you may have something that you think abeka subi chichi mugamba oluwo chimulo ani yagambye marketing chairperson
Mulangira mpozi n'akala zenjawulo bw'oba oyogera oyinza otunulako mu face wali TV n'abeeka ne bakusangayo ti maama twakulabye bataata twakulabye otunulako wali mu TV oli omwami waali live ku TV 3.
Chairman woli olina kyolabanga kibulamu katono okusinziira ku kyobadde osuubira bwe kiba tikiriiwo eddakiika wasigaddeemu tugende mu maaso ne keynote address nteerako profile ya keynote speaker then tulabe ekiddako fe abazze olusi cooperatives. Are we good to go?
Yes, sir.
We seem to be good to go. All right. So, okay. One person.
Handout of what we are going to learn today.
Hard copy of. We, of course, to share this information widely. And one of the things we really want to introduce, some of us are environmentalists, is to reduce as much as possible paper. Because if we're to print hard copies, we have more than 150 people we have invited. And if I'm to multiply each of the presentations, we could be printing more than 50 papers for each one of you. For those who know mathematics, actually, climate change, you can even count how many trees we could have cut with that type of paper. But we shall try as much as possible to share this information. And probably this is the reason why we're talking about digital world. Digital world. So, by the end of the day, you will be appreciating some of the reasons why we are even introducing. Cooperatives are suffering a lot because of stationery. And it's one of the expenses that you can forego. Exactly. So, but don't worry. On one-to-one, we can have a discussion and see how to share. All right. We want to share, to save time. I want to go back to my slides. There's a slide that I want. I want to introduce to you our keynote speaker. Our keynote speaker is a doctor. Mukikubireko omubugalo okubeera doctor si kyangu nno. Osoma emyaka 5 okufuuka PhD doctor. Pulira bulungi. Bamuyita Dr. John Seruyange. I wish you have a better laptop. Can you use mine? Because I have to. Munsasireko as we introduce this, because we need to put it into context for him to come and have a smoother ride. So, for those who can read, I know it's not very clear for you to read. Oh. Okay, I think we need to agree that the technology is again defeating us somehow. So Dr. John Seruyange is a PhD doctor, and he's from the school. He's from Makerere University. He's going to be speaking to us on the first topic that we have organized with you. And we did need to listen to this one, because a keynote address helps us to contextualize ekintu okiteeka mu context. We managed to demo Uganda. Okutegeera kiki tuliko and how we are going to be moving. Technology is not very friendly to us. Let me request Doctor to come and speak to us. For the rest of the introductions, he'll be able to give us the detail as we move forward. So, Doctor, to give us the keynote address.
Thank you very much. Your assistant, as our IT expert puts things in order, my names are the Mother Institute University and a School of Economics, but also within Makerere, I double as the manager, Public Investment Management Center of Excellence. This is a government which builds capacity of government officials in project analysis, but I've also worked for a number of years with the cooperatives, but also research around cooperatives, including CBS PEWOSA, which mothered some of my articles that made up the PhD thesis. If you go online, you're going to see that some of the works which resulted into my PhD are in one of the strongest universities in the world. That work was done together with the CBS PEWOSA, especially the groups of CBS PEWOSA. I prepared some slides here, but I will speak more from experience, giving critical examples and illustrations, and I believe by the time we leave, as our director of program has said, you'll have at least picked 1, 2, 3 aspects which you can go and apply in your cooperatives as cooperators. I understand we've got mainly here circles. I'll try to skew my presentation or my talk towards circles. Ladies and gentlemen, this convention is timely, and the theme, I can't say it's timely. I'll give some reasons. We are looking at empowering cooperatives for a digital and financially inclusive future. That's very important. But when we talk about cooperatives and digital services, I normally say we are late in supporting digitalization of our activities and services. When you look at empowering cooperatives, these must move hand in hand if we are to get the socio-economic transformation we are yearning for as a country. You can't, to date, you cannot talk about cooperatives and you leave out digitalizing of the systems that we are operating in. If we are to improve livelihoods of our people, those group members, those members in the cooperative, things we should focus on is minimizing of costs on the side of the members. And is actually going digital. Is going digital. You can do a lot of your cooperative, the activities of your circle or your bank, if you choose to go digital. Very importantly, to which many countries in Africa have ignored, is the issue of information sharing. We normally talk about development. But development is mainly engineered by information sharing. People, or conventionally, have been thinking about capital. But just within here, there are many institutions which can provide capital. How about your friend, your relatives? But you may lack information that capital is somewhere for you to go and tap into it. We had a study, again with CBS PEWOSA, and the article was published in the University of Oxford, where we tested the strength of cooperatives. This we did within the groups of PEWOSA, and we realized that cooperating, especially, note this, cooperating especially when membership is self-selection. I'll highlight about what it means. Supports information sharing. And it is through information sharing and strengthen our networking systems. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have got that circle or that cooperative, where you go on searching for members, trying to coerce them to join the circle or the cooperative, you are touching a wrong button. A circle, a cooperative should be made out of voluntary membership, self-selection. Let me join. Importantly, the moment information spreads, it helps in mobilizing of communities. That simply means we move beyond the cooperative or the group or the circle toward supporting our communities. Literature shows, there's an article I like very much by Achemuguru. One way we can strengthen our institutions is one, governance. We strengthen governance, and easier governance comes through better and strengthened corporations. That's very important. Corporations. So when you talk about improving our livelihoods or improving communities, then it's not a coincidence that digitalization or digitalizing of the operations of our cooperatives, our SACCOs, has now become a requirement, not a luxury. This is how we can strengthen our operations, how we can strengthen our networks, how we can strengthen our businesses. When you are managing that SACCO, when you are managing that union, where you can collect many SACCOs into one, it is very important that you can communicate easily. If you think about Uganda, cooperatives have been on an increasing trend. The extent to that, over 40,000 SACCOs and cooperatives were registered by the end or by September 2024. This shows a positive trend. Unfortunately, literature shows that it's only 57% of the SACCOs which have tried to go digital in terms of their operations. Yet we know, even if you go to the National Development Agenda, it's very clear that cooperatives are now becoming central in terms of socio-economic transformation, with a high employment rate being offered to a number of Ugandans. We have also seen that cooperatives are very instrumental in terms of supporting financial inclusiveness. But what do you mean by this? It is a decision by you cooperators to go beyond what we normally focus on. Many SACCOs, many cooperatives on the African continent are known of getting members' savings and issuing credit. In most cases, and the percentage is close to 72%. But the moment you become cooperators, as we shall see, cooperators, our operations, our activities have to go beyond receiving savings against giving credit. It goes beyond that. We are going to see that. And over 3.9 million people are obtaining credit through SACCOs in Uganda here alone. That shows you the importance of cooperating, the importance of working together to transform our societies. And as we know, like what it is in many countries, SACCOs go beyond financial cooperatives. Cooperatives go beyond financial cooperatives. In some countries, like in Uganda, we have agricultural cooperatives, where a team is set up, a group is set up, and they're dealing in particular agricultural products. Most importantly here, the main focus is mainly on bulking. And this speaks to something very important. When you look at countries like Uruguay, where cooperatives have been very strong, especially through rotational schemes, you know what we call ROSCAS. national schemes. Uruguay has become more profoundly developed because of these cooperatives. But what they do, the moment they raise enough capital, they agree as members and they choose to either integrate forward or integrate backwards. What am I meaning here? You may be running that circle. After generating enough capital from the members, as you know, cooperatives normally get the money from members. It is very possible you cooperate downwards, and for say you establish a store where you can exercise bulking. And here you can cooperate with, say, an agricultural cooperative. You support them financially, they give you the outputs or products or produce for you to market. And integrating forward is working in collaboration with another marketing company. Are we together? And you support your members through such kind of networking. This is what Uruguay has done. Even if you go online and read about it, it has achieved a lot, high rates of growth, because of cooperatives. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to throw some light on our theme. That's why it's a highlight. Empowering cooperatives for a digital and inclusive financial future. And I put question marks. Are we supposed to empower cooperatives to digitalize? No. What it has to be, or how we have to look at this, should be understanding the bidirectional relationship between cooperatives and digital services. Bidirectional. Each of these two affect the other. It's not about empowering cooperatives first, as we are targeting digitalizing our operations. It should be either way. Are we together? Should be either way. What am I saying here? We know that cooperatives provide a golden platform, a very remarkable platform under which we can digitalize our businesses, under which we can digitalize our activities, and achieve the financial growth agenda of that circle. Why is it a fundamental platform? You are starting with a group. It's not like being one and you think of digitalizing a group. Where you can get a number of responses which are constructive and you make your operations better. Better. But again, digitalizing of our transactions also smoothen or make the works of our cooperatives, of our circles, very easy. They become very simple. Within 1 minute, you can communicate to all of us. Communicate to all of us. And you can get responses. But as much as the operations of cooperatives and the digital systems work hand in hand, it is also very important that our journey for empowering cooperatives is still constrained by a number of factors, for which youth circle or cooperative authorities and members one of the strongest challenges that circles, that cooperatives are experiencing is the failed implementation of the principles of that cooperative. a case, when I was working with CBS Pewosa, we would mobilize people to form groups to go and. But one of the points we would respect is the team members developing what I'm calling the principles. How are we going to manage or to run our group? You totally document how you want your circle to operate, including different policies, internal policies now. Humani policy of that circle. You have workload, you have lending terms, you have saving terms, you have the subscription fees, blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm talking about. Now time comes, either through an adamant action or failed understanding of the principles, now management begins to behave contrary. Some of the evidences I can give. The moment John approaches the manager of that circle, instead of following what the policy says, the learning policy says, you say, John is my lecturer, he taught me. In so doing, let him access the what? Credit. Moreover, timely. That puts the circle or that cooperative at a risk that John may not be suitable or may not be qualifying to achieve that service he has come for. So you are behaving outside the policy which you never laid. That policy was laid by members. Those principles were laid by members. And if we have to look at the longevity, the survival of cooperatives, any changes in the policies must involve members. Not only management, they must come and change, either through annual meetings or through biannual meetings. Secondly, poor governance. And what comes out, what brings poor governance? Ladies and gentlemen, we choose our leaders in most cases if we are behaving as a true cooperative. Clear? Now, the one who has been chosen into authority ends up dictating most of the things we are going to undertake. There are two, basically the major one is one, that can result into poor governance when the group members fail to advise the authority of that cooperative. And what brings that, I think I speak about it in a slide, what brings that is the remorsefulness of some of the members of our cooperatives. Somebody may know, but may fail to tell. But which size is the management? I don't know whether I'm clear here. And such people or such group members are ones of the silent killers of our cooperatives. We had an experiment again when I was working with Pewosa, where we tested the possibility of removing this remorsefulness amongst members. This could be a take-home message. The moment you identify such members who cannot come out rightly, upright, to tell us, say, what must be done or to tell where things are going wrong, you can practice or implement what we call rotational leadership. How many of you have heard this term? How many of you have heard this term or have implemented it in your cooperatives? This is how it works. Remember, you're a cooperative of how many people? No matter how many. Let's average how many? 100. Not all these 100 people can come out to be leaders, and not all of them can speak out. But they are good at speaking in corridors, if I may use that term. What works and has been tested, the moment you appoint that leadership to serve for a year, for example, 2 years, depending on your constitution, what normally happens is that those leaders will serve their term of office. But every meeting you sit, you transfer authority to some other people within the cooperative, within your group, within your circle. Such people who are remorseful start to gain confidence. To gain confidence. It does not mean that if I appoint this expert in IT to act as the chairman for today's meeting, is actually the chairman, no, is serving that position so that he can speak out. I don't know whether I'm clear on that. And then you can appoint a secretary, a different person, and this person is now guided by the one in the office. You keep on shifting leadership amongst the group members, and if you do that in 1 or 2 years, the group becomes stronger and stronger and stronger because people can now speak outright. They have gained confidence. The same research we did in 2027 with CBS PEWOSA showed that the moment people become confident to speak out rightly, the survival, by the time we were working in groups, the survival of the groups was extended for more than 3 years. And the information sharing improved by 25% compared to, get these statistics properly, in groups where leadership was changing hands, communication and information flow between parties, members, improved by over 25% when compared to groups that never had rotational leadership. Reason being, people who could not talk would come out and talk. You can also try to test that model. Secondly, or thirdly, some of our authorities come with predetermined decisions. Maybe, you have a question? I don't know the arrangement. Can we wait maybe, because of time? Okay. Actually, we shall also share these, okay? Normally, many people or leaders who decide are not actually basing on data. Their decisions are in most cases not backed up by data. But most importantly, we talk about inadequate capitalization, capital stock. The question comes, how many products in that circle, in that cooperative, have you established beyond saving against credit? We need to be innovative if we have to go over this. Another thing you should also think about in your circles or in your cooperatives is the bank assurance. I don't know, but I think in Uganda we call it muno mukabi. At times, grudges have come when some members choose to assist another. It is typically possible, and this we tested in one of the circles in Tanzania. I was in Arusha testing this, that they had a given amount, small bit, beyond their subscription, which they were tendering in on a monthly basis. And this money was totally meant for bank assurance. Bank assurance. Politics now, we can look at this because of time. I want us to focus on digitalization, cooperatives, and inclusiveness. When you look at the context of Africa, digital financial services are emerging powerful in enabling financial inclusion. And the continent is leading globally when it comes to transacting using mobile money. That's an achievement on the African continent. But what is important here, in the interest of time, is what I call the harmony of cooperatives and digital services. Ladies and gentlemen, there's something very important here to note. We are talking about cooperatives. Whether circles, whether agricultural cooperatives, whether what. If you are running a cooperative, if you are a member of a cooperative, if you are a manager of a cooperative, at whatever level, very important is that digitalizing of that cooperative should not be driven by the profit motive. That is completely out. You know, people open up apps to make money. You are aware of that. But remember, these are cooperatives which were formed by self-selection and they are owned by members. Establishing that app, whatever it is, to make a profit is on a wrong front when you're talking about cooperatives. However, when you support that system, your key goal should be bringing it as an enabler for strengthening service delivery to members first, not making money. Not making money. But what can we do? And this tells us that even if we are 1,000 cooperatives here, we have different strengths in terms of capital, in terms of numbers. To achieve this, you have to get a platform, that digital platform, which is economically and financially viable for your cooperative. Recently, I was in Kamengo, like 2 weeks back. There's a very strong group. They had called me for some training. And one of the managers, after the presentation and the training, we're in his office. We are speaking about how do you operate this group, blah, 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 blah. Then the man spoke about digitalizing of the operations, which was very impressive. Unfortunately, the same man told me he purchased, you call it a program or software, whatever it is. He bought it from Kenyans, very expensively, using money from the group. So shocking was that this man could only use at most 15% of the programs in that program. I think about 50%. He could only check the inflows, outflows, income statement. And what happened, it was me who showed him even more windows. We continue like opening as I interpret what's in other windows. What does that mean? We are coming up with the digital services for our circle, for our cooperative, which are not working for our members. Doesn't make sense. Why not open up a simple app where everybody can use and understand? This man could only use, I think, 2 windows. The inflows and outflows window, and then the income statement. And it could only open the monthly income statement. It's me who showed him that you can even check it daily. That's what I'm trying to talk about here. It should be to enable people, your members, to work smoothly, not to cause them headache. You cause them headache, they will dump it. You provide good information, they will never check it. So you are not actually working. So it's benefiting the circle, not benefiting your cooperative. Ensure you're extending affordable credit. You are bringing this digital platform to minimize the cost of transacting that credit. That should be your main aim. Not to profit making. Strengthen the inclusiveness of members. Are women represented in that platform? Men, the youth? How about younger ones? We want the long life survival of cooperatives. It's now time we also start teaching the younger ones about the importance of cooperatives. Why don't you get that product that can bring them on board? And also create a window for them on that digital platform. This is very important. Let us now enter in the depth of that digital system, that digital platform you are using now or you want to use in the future. Supporting digitalization for inclusiveness and the growth of our cooperatives is based on nothing other than trust. On nothing other than trust. And trust is from 2 sources. There's what you call a local or internal trust. Within the circle, within the cooperative, don't blame anybody first from out. Here, trust on sticking to the principles of the cooperative and making the members informed of any development. And this is the importance of these digital platforms. You can communicate easily and members become part of this. But again, how reliable is that platform that you are installing to members? You are introducing in the circle or in your cooperative. Over 60% of the financial systems in Africa barely serve a full week without outages. Now look at this. Circles and cooperatives are made by members. And we want that stronger bondment between members. You come up with a digital platform where you keep communicating between members. They can save. You can advance loans through the platform. But if the platform keeps on and off, a single day the system will get off when we're supposed to report, will raise a number of questions. Why is it that the system goes off on 29th of a given month? Why is it so? What are they hiding? Such questions start. That is why, other than thinking so big, when we are digitalizing our cooperatives, the issue of the reliability of the system should also be factored in. And you may go back into your policies and update, you make reforms to capture, for example, the communication strategy when you install that digital platform. And what happens if you fail to report as expected? We've done a lot, I agree. Like many commercial banks, I've read about this. They do this. But the moment you install that digital platform, for instance, it means you're creating a gap in your communication strategy. I don't know whether I'm clear in that. Previously, you knew how you're communicating, and members knew. This is something new which is coming into your cooperative. It must get that internal legal backup. Are we together? And that means you must go and revise either your policies or you have to go back and revise your communication strategy. Who is meant to communicate what? As you're going to see, I think transparency, somewhere we speak about, actually I think at this slide, I'm talking about unrelated information. You are avoiding people communicating what does not suit your platform. That's why it's very important you go back and revise your policy or strategy to make it clear who has to communicate and communicate what. Sometimes, you know, like some of the systems we are using, digital is using social media. You have your group, it's about your circle, somebody puts on something unrelated. Revising your strategy for communication will help you to know who is supposed to submit what over what. I left many groups because of people putting what does not concern the platform. One time I was at home and we had a very busy platform, doing a lot of businesses. Somebody came and put on pictures of an accident. That was not part of what was supposed to be there. And many people were actually negative about the pictures. Very open pictures, you know how we do it. So, and very important, when you establish these digital platforms, personal information and accounts details must be protected. Must be protected. I was doing some work for a given circle. The moment somebody saves, they post. The moment you buy shares of 500,000, they post. That does not work like that in the cooperatives. It should be the financial statements, balance sheets. But you know, John has bought shares of 1 million when the head teacher is in the same group and is demanding me. You are causing issues. So that is the importance of getting who is supposed to communicate. And remember, choosing somebody to do the communication is not a gamble. It should be revising of the communication strategy of your cooperative or circle for him to get that authority. You can portray information about the whole inflows and outflows of the cooperative, but the issues of personal and accounts details should be kept secret. I remember we visited one group many years ago, and they were sharing their returns. But almost everybody knew who's going to get what before they could even share. They could even share. That's not proper when you talk of cooperatives. The second source of trust is the external trust. This mainly comes from government. Putting up proper or emphasizing, supporting. Could be through taxes, through policies, or could be through different strategies. You are talking about financial inclusiveness. But if you are to withdraw 1 million Uganda shillings via mobile money, how much do you pay? 25,000, I think, to get 1 million from MM. 20,000. That's too much. That's too much. It's not talking about financial inclusiveness. But this is beyond your circle. It's beyond your cooperative. It is more of an external factor. Because these platforms, the government puts a lot of regulations, puts a lot of taxes, puts a lot of other statutory requirements. And they make them unaffordable in some instances. There are some imperatives, very important ingredients if we are to digitalize cooperatives and achieve that inclusiveness. Number one, I've said it, government must also support taxes, etc. But also, when you come up with those platforms, those digital services to enable the operations of your cooperative, it also becomes imperative that you go beyond the savings and credit. Think about other products which can bring in capital in your circle, which can bring capital in your cooperative. The issues have now ended of receiving and only giving out what? Money. We need to engage. We are now looking at renewable energy systems. Are you part of this? For instance, irrigation schemes. Can you partner with the, I don't know which company is the other one, and you be one of the outlets for their services? Energy saving stoves. Can you partner with them? You are expanding the basket of products, and you're going to make more or optimal use of that platform. Because you can advertise from the same platforms. Are we together? And you get somewhat, some extra funds. Cooperatives must equip their members with the knowledge and digital tools. Here I'm talking about capacity building programs. To support digitalization of cooperatives and inclusiveness, one question we must answer, are our members able to use these tools? Are they able? If no, this should be one of the things that your cooperative must undertake. Supporting members, equipping them with the knowledge and skills of using the platform you are coming up with. Secondly, to strengthen digital systems into our activities, we must first improve or strengthen the governance of cooperatives so that the governance becomes credible. We are lucky one doctor will talk about governance in cooperatives. I think tomorrow, I think we'll be able to bring out this. You can't talk about digitalizing the system to smoothen the operations when governance is shaking. Governance must be checked into. I gave you one tool. You can test the transitional leadership. And then you can yield the benefits of digitalization. Inclusiveness, I spoke about it. But what's very important is the periodic review of your policy instruments. A circle, a cooperative is not static. It's dynamic. That even when you talk about digitalizing, the systems are dynamic. Avoid finding yourself in space where what you have cannot be applied. Why? It is outside your policy arena, within that circle. So, you can choose. Every maybe 3 years or 5 years, you go back and revise your operational policy instruments. Are they still fitting what you are having? A very simple case. This is my brother here. He's an IT engineer. We have our circle. By that time, we never had these IT systems. And it is nowhere in the human resource policy of our circle that we have an IT expert. But our structure has the manager, has the secretary, treasurer, blah, blah, blah. Now we are employing an IT specialist. Question comes, where is he anchored in the human resource policy? I don't know whether I'm clear on that. On top of that, the world is now changing. Probably, by the time you design those policies, I mean those governing instruments, you never thought about issues of leave, issues of compensation, issues of whatever. This is the time you have to go back and revisit. And revisiting requires benchmarking. We should stop, ladies and gentlemen, sitting in our offices and we design or we review what we want to review. Why don't you benchmark? Assuming you're revising your policy instruments and you go to CBS, Sindikanja Kesako, you pick there that human resource policy instrument. You go, I had from Kanyanya, you got to pick that one. One was from Mbaga, pick it. You now have 4 on your table to learn from. And guess what? This can yield you a better policy to run that cooperative. I think I'm wondering with time. Let me just move on to way forward. To achieve a digital and inclusive financial future, empowering cooperatives must become a deliberate policy and investment priority in your circle. In your circle. It's not an option. It should be now a policy action. And you must prioritize it. Extend rural connectivity and digital infrastructure. You are saying in Kampala, possibly your circle, like now like CBS Pewosa, we are in Butambala, we are in Gomba, we are in Masaka, and what you have as your system can only work in Kampala and PG, Wachiso and Butambala, you are done. Other members are left out of this digital platform. Diversify the products. So I've said it. Diversify. Go beyond the savings and credit to optimize that digital platform. Create a window of advertisements. Now like a CBS Pewosa, Sindikan Njakesako, Chadondo, they are prominently known. If you have this platform, you can even advertise and you're paid by big institutions. Somebody opens that platform, before information comes in, an advert comes from Coke, an advert comes from DTB, or comes from whatever it is, or water. And this can also help in networking. If you have got different products, you can advertise one as you are actually aiming to expose the other. Build the capacity. Make your members digital literates. You will blame them, yet they don't know how to use your platform. Facilitate networks, but also strengthen governance and regulations to ensure sustainability. In the interest of time, let me say thank you for listening.
Flowers for his wonderful presentation. Okay. Can we give flowers to God? Can we give flowers to our ancestors who are down there? Give flowers. Don't have ancestors who were put into the ground. Okay. Can we also give flowers to people we don't know where they are now? I want you, baby. Some People's backs cannot even move. Okay, what about this side? Let me go to the microphone. What we are doing is helping us to saturate blood within us, not so? I'm putting together so many activities in one. So can we give flowers to our left ancestors? Where is my left now? Okay, this side. Bend, 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 bend down and bend. Okay, now to our right ones. Flowers, please, let's give them flowers. Again, finally, to our doctor for his wonderful presentation. Thank you so much, doctor. I really learned a lot. Yes, you can sit, doctor. But you can... Seconds to have some break, but I feel it is to give some bit of feedback and probably know if doctor needs to tell us more or give us some more information. I'm being told that some people have come here for the first time and they may need to know the geography of this place. Right, that door takes you to the washrooms. I don't want to call it short calls or long calls. Some people may go for telephone. Telephone, you can go anywhere this side, but the washrooms are that side. Please be free to use the services available. So we are supposed to give response to the keynote address, not through questions or answers, but I request that you have notebooks in front of you, and we are using digital. (772) 537. If you get that, you are done. 537, the old MTN, 222. That one you can even remember. 537 222. I'm on WhatsApp, please